Hello, everyone, and welcome to What the Pause? I'm Amalia Kurtzonis, and I am here to discuss menopause and the workplace. So, I hope you had a great week, and for me personally, it was one of the most challenging in terms of what's going on in my workplace and what is happening in terms of the future of education. But that's for another podcast and another talk altogether. I'm here to talk about menopause, perimenopause in the workplace. Are we talking about it? Are we ignoring it? What are your decision makers doing about it? It is time that we start opening up the discussions in plain sight. And it's interesting because having completed and received my certification as a holistic perimenopause and menopause coach, I cannot wait to get my program off the ground and to help those who really can use the coaching mechanisms that I have in place. When I went back to the college, as you know, I'm a professor, and we had intersession. And when the students came back, I had a whole new cohort. And so they didn't know who I was or what I did before, what I plan on doing, and what have you. I'm just a professor of project management, but I'm teaching now a course in coaching and mentoring in leadership and also performance management, nonetheless. So when I start to talk about my credentials and, given the history about what I do for a living, what I did and all that fun stuff, one of the things I always bring up is the fact that recently I am a perimenopause and menopause coach, and the eyes on these boys and girls, because I say that, although they are in their mid-20s, because I do teach a postgraduate program, and they're looking at me with like eyes just, oh my God, I can't believe she just said that. And I just look at them and say, oh, what's the problem? This is very open here. It's no longer taboo. Ladies, are you liking what your mother's going through? Guys, are you liking what your mothers are going through? And they won't tell you what they're going through. It's very cultural. The students I teach are international, so it's culturally taboo to speak about menopause. But I know many of my female students have their mothers now listening, and that just brings me great joy. And I want to thank those who have started to follow me. I've got great new followers. It's a slow process, but I'm hoping that my message gets through to many, many, many people. All right, so tough times happening at the college. I've lost two of my greatest mentors. They're female mentors who knew I was going through this, and I know they are hopefully listening. Hello, Michelle. Hello, Kim, or watching, and they know how passionate I am about making change. And this is what this podcast is all about, is making change. So for those who are listening, you're not going to be able to see some of the graphics I will be putting up, but that's okay. I will talk through them. So in my previous life, in my career as a project manager for a webcasting company, and also venturing off on my own in terms of my own project management company, I really didn't work with a lot of women who were in their 50s. And I was in my 30s when I started this great career back in Toronto, but rarely did I see anybody in that, let's say, boomers at that time now, right? So because I'm Gen X now, but nonetheless, boomers at the time, or even veterans at the time, when I was doing my webcasting, I never saw them. Where did they go? Did they disappear? It's just unbeknownst to me why I didn't find any woman in leadership roles over the age of 45. And I saw this as I went through my career changes and my physical changes and my own life changes too. So I said to myself, okay, this is really strange because I don't have any mentors. I didn't have any mentors who were female at the time and going through this. And my mother didn't tell me what she was going through. Like I said in my earlier podcasts, I was the one that was teaching her. I was the one that was researching what she should be taking and the supplementation and everything and the mindset. Okay. And she would tell me at her job that, when people were going through menopause at her workplace, they would just laugh. Men would just stay away from, oh, let's stay away from the group of 6 who are going through perimenopause right now. They're dangerous, and they're threatening and intimidating. It's in jest, obviously. It is a joke, but when I heard that, I said to my mother, I said, what's wrong with these guys? Why don't they just man up and learn why we go through this? What is menopause to a man? I can probably ask 5 men right now, and they have no bloody clue what's going on. So those who are making decisions in your workplace, and if they are of the male persuasion, I'm not going to apologize, guys, for being straight out, because you are the ones that are making a mess of things. You are the ones that are insisting in policies to put in place, but you are more concerned about the bottom line as opposed to the emotional and physiological effects that your female leaders may be experiencing, and why are they not being treated the same as your male counterparts. Being from a very male-dominated industry, I saw a lot of this discrimination, a lot of sexism, and generalizations and stereotypes. And I vowed when I turned 50, I'm 53, I'm going to be 54 in October, that there's no way in hell I was going to be treated like that because I'm a woman of a certain age. That's bullshit. That kind of talk can just go out the window for me. All right. And I know a lot of my Gen X women and the ones that are here right now followed suit in terms of that. So I'm going to go through and give you some stats that I have received and researched in what's happening in the workplace in Canada, United States, and in parts of Europe. So having gone through some of my research, it was really mind-blowing in terms of how many people are actually feeling that they cannot go to their HR department. They cannot go to their boss, especially if he's male. And if he's born with a 2 in front of the year, don't even bother talking to me, okay? Talk to your mommy and then come back and talk to me about it, all right? So, yeah, if you think I have no decorum, I do. I just don't have time for bullshit from young men who think they know it all, and especially young men who are thinking that they're going to be good decision makers for women like us. Doesn't fly with me. Sorry. All right, moving on. So what's happening in the workplace? Well, after some of my research on the Canadian Menopause Society's website, anybody can go there. I'm just going to read from my screen here, so don't mind me if my eyes are going down. I can't memorize everything. Sometimes I do have brain fog. All right. So this is amazing. 1/4 or 5 million of Canada's workers are women aged 40 plus. 2 million are between 45 and 55, the age range when most reach menopause. That cohort is the fastest growing segment of working women and is projected to grow by nearly 1/3 by 2040. So you have 15 years to get this shit done and to get this shit right, because we are sick and tired of becoming invisible in our workplaces, that women who are much younger than us, they look at us and say, oh, I don't want to be like you. Or, am I going to get fat too? Or, am I going to lose my job when I turn 50? Oh, honey, there are more things for you to worry about before you get menopause, okay? Because, and if you've looked at my LinkedIn profile, I do talk about how I was dismissed after coming back from mat leave. And it was the same trend happening to my previous female acquaintances and peers that I worked with back in Toronto. Yeah, you can figure it out on my LinkedIn which company did that to me and continuously did that to my female colleagues. And when I look back at it now, I should have sued for discrimination. I should have sued because I was targeted. So this is something that I am very passionate about, working with those who are decision makers and those who work in HR. But I'm going to still carry on with the Canadian stats, okay? So we have 2040 to get this shit right, guys, okay? Also, despite menopause being globally known around the world, And it's a universal experience. 1 in 2 women in the national survey by the Menopause Foundation of Canada say they are unprepared for menopause. Yet, 95% report experiencing an average of its 30 plus symptoms. Yeah, 30 plus symptoms we can endure. And on average, we have 7 of those 30. In a future episode, I'm going to be talking about those symptoms. I'm going to be talking about body image and mindset too. But let's carry on. So, and the most of it ranges from hot flashes and sleep disturbances to brain fog, anxiety, depression, joint pain, and more and more and more. Okay? It takes a toll on us at work. We may not show it to you all, but it takes its toll. Yesterday, I didn't want to get out of bed. I don't think I got out of bed till 11 a.m. And it's because my period came back, and it's irregular, so I never know when it's coming. But at 53, I figure, what the fuck? Or what the pause is going on with my body? But then I think about it. I said, hold on a second here. I still look pretty young. I don't wear makeup, guys, so sorry if you don't see me in full glam. I'm not that girl, okay? But I'm real to everybody, and I try my best to look my best, to feel my best, and some days, many days, I do not even want to bother. But then again, I don't subscribe to that zero fucks notion, okay? I do care. I do care about certain things, especially when it comes to my health, and especially when it comes to your health too, okay, guys? So think about all these things that we wake up to on a daily basis, and we don't know how we're going to cope with it. Unless we have our own medications, our own treatment plans, those who are coming into it blind have no clue how to navigate through this at work. So another thing that I want to talk to you about is that 25% of women that are within the perimenopausal and menopausal demographic, they want to start talking openly about menopause in the workplace. Some companies now are asking for a relaxed dress code so that people can start, you don't have to wear suits and tailored suits for a meeting in Zoom or wherever the case may be. Different when you're having in-person discussions, and I get that, but let's talk about giving these women the comfort they deserve, right? We want to ensure that they have access to washrooms. I know it sounds ridiculous, but this is something that we should be thinking about. Having cold drinking water, not the filtered shit that comes through the ground that I have to get at my college to refill my bottle. It tastes like dirt, okay? Do not go there with me. But we also want to have temperature regulated offices. What do you mean by that? Well, we're always hot, guys. Yeah, we're hot as we are in spirit and in being, but physically we get the hot flashes, right? So we got the hot flashes. We want fans. Paper fans do not work. We want some little oscillating fans. Luckily for me, I'm on HRT, so I do not experience hot flashes anymore. And for now, which is great, but there are lots of people who are on HRT or are on other treatment plans who do require that kind of accommodation. All right. And I hate using the word accommodation, but perhaps we should be thinking of it that way. I don't know. You tell me. If you have any questions or comments, please write them down below. All right. So in Canada, there's actually a white paper. And it's a white paper that is on the Menopause, Canadian Menopause Foundation Society. And this is something that it's a white paper they have created. And I understand it's okay. So it's the Menopause and Work in Canada report. So it's Menopause and Work in Canada report. So this is a report. Okay, I can report and research on anything, guys, but what's the action going to be taken from this report? I find that a lot of information is pushed to us, but then we're supposed to be the ones to pick it up and go. Well, I don't have that kind of power, but I can easily take that white paper, bring it to my HR person or whomever has some kind of influence and say, we need to start talking about this and we need to start putting in some policies ourselves. All right. But it just does not happen. And here are some of these findings from this white paper that say that 1/3 of working women say that their menopause symptoms negatively impacted their performance at work. Absolutely. I knew when I was teaching, I would be stuck on a slide and I would not even know where I was going with my thought because the brain fog just set in out of nowhere. 1/4 of them said they hid their symptoms at work. How do you hide your symptoms, guys? Why would you hide your symptoms? If you're going to be fired or targeted because of a natural occurrence that comes with women, you shouldn't be working for that company. You should be calling the Better Business Bureau. You should be yelling from the top of your lungs for people to do something about this. And then 70% said someone in HR know what they were experiencing. That's great. HR knew what you're experiencing, but is HR going to do something about it? Let's be real here. And then half of the women said that they are too embarrassed to ask for help at work. Oh my gosh. And when I heard this one, I had to say to myself, okay, ladies, what the fuck? Okay? What the pause are you doing? Why are you afraid? You're afraid of losing your job? Are you afraid of what's going to happen to you on a daily basis? Fear is the worst 4-letter F word that exists in the English vocabulary. I lived in a household where fear was abundant, and I refuse to be that person to live in fear because it doesn't do any good to anybody else, because you're never going to live the life that you want. And if they cannot handle you or your symptoms, perhaps you're in the wrong place, or perhaps that person should be scolded and told, and maybe even go to a workshop where they can talk about menopause. I'll even host it for you because I can get through to these guys a lot better than some of these women. And it really disheartens me when I see women saying, I can't talk about it. I'm too embarrassed. Oh my God, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, are you kidding me? There are men out there that probably appreciate the fact that you're talking about it because they're probably having the same, I'm not going to say issue, I'm not going to say problem, because that is negative shit talk that we do not say here. But I would love to teach those men what it is like to be perimenopausal or going through menopause. I would like to coach them. I would love to coach executive leaders who have no clue what their wives are going through or girlfriends are going through or whomever is going through perimenopause or the change or the pause, or whatever we want to describe it to be. Now, what else can we do about it? Before I go into that, I want to talk about what's happening in the States. Now, we know the orange clown is still there, and with his whole entourage of clowns. Can we say RFK Jr. is the most, I don't even have the words for it, but this thing, alien, because he's not a man, neither is the orange clown, are creating havoc for women. It doesn't matter what age. Okay. So to my American sisters out there, we are watching you. We are supporting you. You are loved. And I actually took a look at what's happening in the States in terms of menopause. So I'm just going to give you a couple of states or a few states where things are happening. So some of my favorite ones that I found were the following. In Illinois, SJR 0025 is a bill that would create Menopause Awareness Week on October 12 to 18, 2025 to drive legislation action on workforce protections, healthcare equity, and research funding. My birthday lands on that week, and I'm all for this. So that just really shocked me because I don't hear about these things in the States. They never mention them on the news, right? Okay. So here's another one in Illinois. HB 5295 will expand prior bill mandating treatment coverage for post-hysterectomy patients to include all menopause treatments as of January 1st, 2026. Illinois, love ya. Love Chicago. Did I say that right? Chicago? I used to have clients there, and Mr. Feldman, if you remember me, every time I think of Chicago, I think of my work that I've done many, many moons ago back there in my webcasting days. Here is what's happening in New York. So in New York, Bill AB 5436, again, AB 5436, would help prevent discrimination and increase awareness about menopause and perimenopause. Well done. In Rhode Island, Bill S0361 would extend workplace protections to those experiencing menopause. This is just some of the things that are happening in the States that I'm so happy that is going. But a lot of the things that I did find in the American readings is that it's just a lot of the other states, the red states, all they are saying is, we're going to push material to you. Here's some material for you to read. Good Lord, if we haven't gone through Dr. Google already, then we're all screwed. But the thing is that stop pushing the material for us. Do something about it. Take some action. What are you going to do about women like us that are suffering in silence, that are too afraid to talk out loud, that are afraid to bring it to the table? So this, again, is something that I wholeheartedly hope that will change in the next 5 to 10 years. I'm not waiting until 2040. Screw that shit. We're going to be doing it now. So there's actually, from the Canadian Menopause Society, it's the Workplace Handbook. Again, you can push all the information. Apparently, one of the insurance companies is also involved, but I've not heard shit about this insurance company. And it's the insurance company that my organization uses for benefits. So my finding is that everybody has come to a place where, okay, we know it's here. Gen X women, we're not like our boomer mothers, okay, or our veteran mothers. We are not like them. We are a different species. We're going to be loud, and we're going to be strong, and we're not going to shut up until shit gets done. So if my swearing offends you, too bad. But I know when I coach my patients and I coach my friends, and I'm doing this out of the goodness of my heart, I'm very straight. And do I have a trucker mouth? No, but I do tend to say things a little bit abruptly because I just can't fathom it anymore. All right. So I've given you some things that are happening in the workplace that are still in dire need of support, of talking, of coaching, of programming. I also talked about the fact that the US are doing things about it, which I say, hell yeah, because we Canadians are watching over you. So what can you do? What can we do to change this conversation? What can we do to make perimenopause and menopause not a taboo thing anymore, where we can speak about it freely with our colleagues and we're not going to get targeted because, oh, Amalia, she just didn't come to work one day because, oh, she was too tired because her joints ached. Boo-hoo-hoo. It must be terrible being in perimenopause. You know, I don't have time for shit like that. And if I have 30-year-olds looking at me and looking down at me, trust me, darlings, you're going to be 50 one day. And I had the body like yours. And I still strive to be as fit and as young as possible naturally. So good luck to you when you turn my age. All right. Okay, moving on. So what can we do? Why are companies not talking about this? Why isn't my college coming to me and saying, Amalia, we understand that you are a menopause coach. Can you come in and do a conference for us? I'm going to beat them to the punch, and they know this already. But this is what needs to happen. We need to have companies to get menopausal benefits. We need to have structure in place where a woman in perimenopause can bank some time, bank hours for that purpose. Why would they utilize their sick days? when there are specific, like if you get COVID and you're in perimenopause, the two are different. So screw off with that. You're using 10 sick days, whatever the case may be, for the particular illnesses. Perimenopause needs to be treated, okay? It's not a disease, but needs to be treated properly. And this is why we're not having this conversation, because people don't know how to treat it. Women, start teaching your sons right now what menopause is all about, what you're going through, and what he needs to do when his significant other is going through the same thing. We need to talk about also people who have gone through transgendered transitions. They're going to be on HRT. They're going to need coaching. And I'm here for you too. Okay. I just don't stick to, naturally females being birthed as female. I'm also here to coach those going through any type of HRT if you're a man or a woman or transitioning, because we don't want to lose you either in this space. We want you to thrive. And I want all of us women to thrive, especially in our workplaces. Maternity and paternity benefits exist. Now, paternity benefits in Canada didn't really come into play till about 10 years after I had my first child. And which is great, because some of us want to go back to work early, or we need to go back to work early. But what about menopausal benefits? What time off can we get for paid leave on that one? If you are in the HR department, or you have influence or a decision maker, please, if you don't know where to start, you can come and talk to me about it. I can help you put in this policy in place. If you need someone to come in and talk to your team about menopause and work, a coaching program, or some other treatment plan, come to me. And am I looking for paid gigs or anything like that? No, this is a call out to those who are very serious about having the discussion of menopause in your workplaces and what you can do to make changes. Because that's the only thing that's going to happen is these decision makers have to make these changes. And women, we have to change our mindsets to ensure that this is a natural aging process. Everybody goes through it, and women need more help. Bottom line, we don't take a pause from anything, but we should certainly take a pause and embrace what we're doing. So I hope this was very helpful to you. I want to thank all my listeners who's listening to me on the podcast. I want to thank everybody who's watching me online right now. Please feel free to make your comments down below. Email me at whatthepause@gmail.com. Look out for my updated website, where I am going to be instilling my program treatment plans for perimenopause and menopause and postmenopause. My next topic is going to be about menopause and relationships. So watch out, because I'm going to be having a call to action, because I want to know your stories. I want to hear what your spouses are putting you through as you go through this change, as you go through this pause. So I'll end off with my usual stating: be healthy, be safe, and embrace the pause. I'll see you next time.